Nathan, welcome to Unlocked. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Your story for me is remarkable. I'd like to go back with regards to, I think if we start from your illness, so you're very much into your training. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you explain exactly what it is you do now, and then if you can tell us what led you to that.
So what I currently do now is I'm a sports therapist, so I deal with injured athletes, injured general public from young ages all the way to like your grun, everything like that, and then also up to professional athletes.
Yep. What's your favourite before we get right into this? Do you have a preference?
So I love working with professional athletes because who doesn't? Like, they're adherent to all the plans you give them. But what I like best is that general public that feel like they've lost all hope, that they don't, after me, there isn't anywhere else to go. And that can be life-changing. It's been chronic for 10 years, 20 years. They can't pick up their grandchild, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then when you explain it to them, talk them through everything, actually listen, and then you give them that part of their life that they'd almost lost or lost hope in. So playing with their grandkids, picking them up because like they couldn't lift their shoulder like a week ago, and then they can finally start living their life again. That's genuinely my favourite bit.
Yeah. And do you go into other gyms and do it, or do you do it from home, or how does it work?
Just from home. I get offered a lot of gym space quite frequently, but I like working from home. It means I can fit more in, so I can see more people. It's less, especially for a general public, some aren't comfortable going into gyms.
Yeah.
Some of the clients I see would find it hard to climb upstairs, come through doors. So a nice welcoming environment, someone's house.
Homely.
Yeah. They haven't got that sometimes negative stigma of, I don't go to the gym. I don't want to get treated at a gym.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose doing it from home doesn't feel, for a person coming in, doesn't give it that business feel as such. It gives it that more personal touch, that personal, and I think people prefer that, especially if they're uncomfortable within a gym environment. So what led you into it? Like, why did you get into that?
People have always said that's something I should try, and I always brushed it off. Weird scenario. I just needed money at one point.
Right. Like, don't we all?
Yeah. I don't want to say a rock bottom, but I didn't know where I wanted to go. COVID kind of ruined my business plans with a dog walking and pet sitting business.
I bet you're glad you didn't do that now, didn't you?
Massively. And had a few jobs, never enjoyed them, weren't paying very well. And this was an idea of my ex-girlfriend's and someone else that's a therapist, Harry. He said, why didn't you do it? So I started as a side hustle, just extra £100 a week. Like,
yeah, of course.
Sometimes that's all you need. And in 2 months, I was earning more money after work than I was doing a full 8 to 10 hour day.
Wow. So it really, really started off as, let's just see what happens, and now you're basically top of your field. Like, there's no question about that. It's spiraled and it's doing really well. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Going back to, obviously you work out a lot. I know you have a great physique. Actually a bit jealous, I'm not going to lie. But you're younger than me, so fuck it, I don't care. It is what it is. But you, back in the day, like, your shape wasn't like it is now. But your training method and everything that I see was phenomenal. So I've known you for quite a long time, so I've seen that progress. But one thing I didn't know, because I've been out of the game for such a long time, was that you got sick. So if you can talk us about that, because obviously getting sick obviously whether you overcome it or that's, however that looks like, if you can talk us through that and explain that.
So the first time I ever got severely ill was I post Beijing World Championships for triathlons. Got back from Beijing and I started vomiting.
Right, before the vomit, again, like I said, I know you trained hard, but I didn't know you did triathlons. So talk us through that first, like, because I don't want to skip massive parts of what motivates you to do triathlons. What did you get into that for? Because I had just assumed you always did weights.
No, I only started when I was in my 20s. So grew up like national level swimmer. Got to secondary school, and a guy called Ian Gummery came to our school and like promoted like triathlons. So we all tried it, like a few of the top runners, people that could swim, and I smashed it. Like first one, absolutely smashed it, loved it. From then got the bug, and I don't know anything else other than to train. I really don't know anything else.
But do you love it, or do you just? I know it's healthy and I know it's a good thing to do, but do you love it?
Yeah, it soothes me.
Okay.
I don't know why, but training and learning, like doing something I enjoy, just soothes me. Like I can shut everything out.
Yeah.
Then going from like just enjoying triathlons, I looked at the times and what my times were for elite level, and I gave myself like a year. I was like, see how far I can get in 1 year. And this kind of mentality's actually stuck with me now. If you give something your full attention for a year, what you can accomplish is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whether it's training, business, family life, put a year of undivided attention into that, you will be shocked at the results.
Yeah.
And yeah, from that, I qualified for Beijing World Championships. And
how old were you at this point?
17.
Wow. Okay.
Competing with the best in the world. Eye-opening to compete in Beijing just after the Olympics. Yeah, just
more an experience.
Surreal. And knowing what I could achieve just from that, I've definitely taken that through business, other training.
Yeah.
And just life. Like you can just, when you see what you can actually do,
yeah,
you'll be shocked
when you put your mind to it. So you compete in Beijing, you come back, you start being sick.
Yeah. It kept getting passed off as like a bug, a virus, a vomiting virus, and like 1 and a bit years later, went to see some specialists in London, had like barium meal tests and some other things, and it turned out to be a form of gastroparesis, which is delayed emptying of the stomach. So it just kept refluxing like continuously.
Yeah.
And then I was on medication, but main cause of it was stress. Just potentially family life issues, the stress I put on myself. And
because of the games, not games, but the triathlon, or life in general.
Yeah, probably both. Right. Like when you're like 18, 19, you think you're supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to start your career. I was expecting to be a professional athlete because that's where my head went. I've just competed in the Worlds. Why am I a professional athlete?
Yeah.
A bit naive of me to think that now, but when you're young, you're naive. I think all that stress just made everything worse. The reflux kept happening for like 2.5 years total.
Right.
Learned about the stress, relaxing, not putting such hard time on myself. Started getting working, have a job, and then it slowly eased off. That was the first time I was like properly sick and like it really affected my life.
Yeah. So what things did you put in place to make sure that the stress would, because effectively we're talking about stress, right? With life, day-to-day life stress is hitting you. You've got all these expectations of what you should be at this age. And, I guess majority of us have been there. We're expecting to be something, or the pressures of being something. So what did you put in place to be able to get that under control?
It wasn't healthy, but I just stayed out of the house.
Okay.
I just tried to get back to some form of training and work. So I was out of the house like all the time. I'd be training in the morning, then in the gym, then at work.
Right.
Then I'd be home at like 10 o'clock at night. Just because that, yeah, without going into too much of it now, home life wasn't good.
Okay.
I had a very supportive mum, incredibly supportive. She would take me to all my events because I didn't drive, because no job, stuff like that. She would take me to all my events, any training session I needed to go to. My mum was there. And yeah, I can't thank her enough for it, because she got me out of the house.
Yeah.
And I think that was a massive help into reducing my stress. And then focused on nutrition, got a level 3 personal training qualification. And that's kind of when I just started that getting into the gym scene from that part there. So getting the qualification, working in gyms, working for yourself in that more bodybuilding environment.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What did that look like at that time? So how old are you now? And you started bodybuilding?
So about 20.
So we like to talk about steroids, if you took them and if you didn't. Did you take them at a young age?
Probably younger than I'd want to.
Okay.
Looking back at it now.
Yeah.
Now there's so much more information.
Yeah.
So much more. And coaches are a lot more informed.
Yes.
Even the lower level coaches, if we want to go through that, you don't need a high-end coach.
No.
So yeah, I think I started around about 25.
Okay.
Like everyone, you do dumb shit. You do too much. Yeah, gyno.
Oh, so you went through it?
Yeah, I went through it. I'd never say like I abused it.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of figure out what compounds work for you, what don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always say I stuck to a fairly sensible dose, listening to other people, listening to my coach at the or I've had a few coaches, listen to them, they're more experienced than me, and then just took their guidance going forward. And yeah, I've always been pretty healthy when I've taken them. Obviously we've had our like beginning phase where shit doesn't go right.
Yeah.
Like I said, you get gyno.
Yeah.
But regarding...
So just to explain, because a lot of people want to know what gyno is. What does gyno do?
Gyno is the male version of bitch tits.
And what happens?
Big puffy nipples, really unattractive.
Especially on a man, right?
Yeah, you want to go big pecs, not big puffy nipples. They get sensitive.
Yeah. Did you have them cut out, or
no?
Did you?
I got some really. So you take some like PCT, anti-estrogens, whatever's causing that gynecomastia.
Nodex.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
But I got some fat dissolvable injections in there. It hurt. Oh, like fuck. It hurt.
Well, you actually injected your tit.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
That's all legal, by the way. Like, that's all, like, normal.
What, the hospital? So you're under...
No, a beautician.
Wow.
I can't remember what it's called. It's like...
Don't say her name.
No, not that. It's something like Lipomax or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it stings. It hurts like fuck.
What, you went in the nipple or in the tit?
In the nipple. Like, get a nice little pinch. Get the...
So if anyone's watching and thinking about doing steroids, avoid gyno at all costs. Look, you're either prone to it or you're not. Like, so when I competed at like the level I never took enough. Like, so I don't know about you, but throughout my whole career, I didn't ever do more than, I think it was like the max I ever did was like 2 shots a week of Deca, 2 shots of test. So only 5, and I know that's fucking low compared to, but it's only because I knew my body. Like I spent such a long time learning, with all my injuries and my accidents and so on, and my health. I had to even today, I tailor every single fucking bit, like with my food, etc. Obviously, I don't take gear anymore, but like my max was only ever. But what I did like was growth. I liked growth, but again, I never did loads of IUs a day. Not really. I knew I was never going to be pro because I didn't have the physique to be pro, and I didn't really have an interest in it either. But I did own gyms, and I needed to look.
You need that look.
Yeah, you need. That's the sad thing. You don't. I just needed to be a successful business. What actually got me out of the gyms was me saying, like, I think I might have included you in this conversation. I can't remember, but I asked a few people and said, look, if all the Mr. Olympias for the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years walked in here and Richard Branson was in here, the little guy, who'd you talk to? And they all went Richard Branson. I thought, what the fuck am I doing? I'm done. And that was when I was done. Like, in that whole thing, I stopped taking steroids and I was out of the gym game totally. So for me, health is very important. Like, after that, my health was like my main focus. When you took steroids, do you think it fucked with your head?
Personally, no.
Okay.
I understand, again, like you said, some people are prone to certain compounds causing certain side effects.
Yeah.
My main one was the gyno, so I'd always have to tailor that around that. So always ran a low base of tests, and then threw other compounds, like say growth hormone, in there to just enhance the effects of any of the compounds I was using. But I only really got like heavier into that as I was pursuing a powerlifting career.
Right.
Career is a strong word, but
that was the aim.
Ultimately, that was highly competitive in powerlifting, and like anything, I want to take it to the extreme
level. Yeah.
But I was always very wary about my health, so I never took things too far.
Right.
So regular blood tests.
Yeah.
Making sure all my health markers were in line, everything like that.
Would you use a doctor for this, like one that's? So the reason why I ask this is because they obviously have to log it. Mm-hmm. So again, if you're applying for health insurance, all that shit's logged, right?
Yeah.
So do you use private or did you use the NHS, like doctor?
I use private.
Private. Okay.
Private. Because the NHS is so, and my girlfriend's had issues with this right now.
She on steroids?
Technically, birth control. So.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
So the list of what they test for in the NHS is so low.
Yeah.
And they don't correlate any of the markers.
No.
So she's been to Harley Street, top end doctors. She's gone private for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. She sees a man called Dr. Dean. He owns Supplement Needs. She sends her bloods to him. Instantly diagnosed. Easy.
Right.
The past year under Dr. Dean and her coach Olivia, her health has never been better.
Right.
Her training has never been better.
Yeah.
Her mood is like skin, everything.
Love the way you chuck the mood bit in. We'll cut that bit out.
Yeah. And that's why I know I went a bit off topic, but that's why I'd always suggest private.
Yes.
Just go to someone that knows bloods.
Because here's look, one of the biggest things for me, and I think you'll probably be able to relate to this, is I am not in any way, shape or form digging out the NHS. Listen, they do a great job. I'm not saying that at all, and I get it. But for athletes and people that are really into this stuff, it is good. The only way to do it is it's got to be private, because you're not the same as average Joe. So if your markers are a little bit higher in one level, that would correlate to someone that's an athlete. Or even, you don't have to be a pro athlete, but if you're an athlete, all your levels are higher from average Joe. So then it can create a problem that you don't actually have. But if you give it to someone that is experienced in, so for everyone watching, it's good for them to understand that if you do go to the doctors or the NHS, it's not necessarily a problem. It's good to get it rechecked if that's your standard of living, right?
Yeah, I think when we talk about athletes or people that have that very healthy athletic lifestyle, that nutrition in check, sleep in check, training.
Yeah.
When your body's in such a fine balance of recovery and training hard, when one of them gets knocked, that's why we want all of these markers checked that the NHS would potentially miss.
Yeah.
Because we are riding that fine line of training to an insane level and making sure we can recover at that same level.
Yeah.
To continue that development.
Yeah. So you're now powerlifting.
Yeah.
Did you have further health problems once you were powerlifting, or was it after?
Yeah. It's a long list, isn't it? So,
It is, but it's relevant.
yeah. So,
And you're still here. You've overcome it, and that's the bit that intrigues me. Like, it's inspiring. So,
stubbornness.
yeah, and that.
So, during lockdown, I'm just going to say how it is. I kept shitting myself.
Right.
Okay. Go out for a walk. Yeah. Defecate. Eat something. Out. And
So, was this straight after food, or it would just happen irregularly?
yeah, just regularly, straight after food, drink, anything.
Right. Okay.
And no idea. Not a clue. Cut out all like artificial sweeteners, my diet, so just energy drinks really. Which was only having 1 or 2 a day, so not anything obscene.
Yeah.
Nutrition was always solid, no issues with that. Lockdown, like no drugs,
Yeah.
no gyms.
Yeah.
Was the point. And yeah, I just didn't know why. It kept happening. I wouldn't eat, and then it would still happen. Then went to the doctors, and we all know what it was like during that time. You couldn't get an appointment, you couldn't get seen, you couldn't get checked. I can't remember how long it was, but it was near the end of lockdown, because I just got a job closer to the finish line of when we came out, and it turned out I'd had ulcerative colitis, and yeah, that was another health issue that I had, and yeah, that obviously affected my weight, affected my strength, affected just my lifestyle. And even to today, like that uncertainty of how my stomach is going to react when I'm out in public, walking my dog, driving, like when I don't, where there's a toilet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, how long was lockdown? How long ago?
Mate, you're asking the wrong person. I don't even really remember it happening. I was busy.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, even to today, like I'm still like, where's the nearest toilet?
So you still suffer with it? Would they give you the sachets?
Yeah, I've had
Injections?
Yeah, sachets, azithromycin, which that's coming to another illness that I had, which they believe azithromycin caused, probably my worst one. And now I'm on biologicals, so injections every 2 weeks, that I can administer at home. So I am quite fortunate for that.
And does it work? Does it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Game changer.
Right. Okay.
The next step would be a stoma bag for me.
Which obviously you'd like to avoid.
Massively.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to injecting.
Yeah. Injection's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So as long as it's not in the tit. Right. It's comfortable.
If it stops me shitting myself, I inject it anywhere.
All right. So, okay. So you've again overcome that obstacle, and again a great job by the NHS for diagnosing it properly and
phenomenal.
And, getting it done and making sure because obviously with colitis, or ulcerative colitis, it is still trial and error. They have to give you the sachets first. They have to give you tablets. Then it's again like any medication, whether it's steroids or whether it's medication from prescribed medication. It's trial and error all the time, and what works for one person doesn't work for you. And this is where it comes back to the markers. It's got to be tailored to you. And like you said, the whatever they gave you at first didn't work, and then finally get it to the point where you got something. What did that cause though? Because this led on to something else, something bigger, didn't it?
Yeah. So,
and you're still training.
Yeah, I'm still training.
Still training, still eating.
Yeah. I love eating. That's why I train. So, the sachets, the crystals that they give you didn't really work. Azithromycin worked for about a year, but that stopped working.
What is that? Is that a tablet or an injection?
It's a tablet.
Right, okay.
That stopped working. I tried some other injections that didn't work. And then in between that time, I had a really massive flare up, like on the floor, blood both ends.
Wow.
It was late at night, and I was just like, I'm going to bed. I'll be fine in the morning. Woke up. I was not fine in the morning. Rushed to hospital. and they thought I had what did they say was wrong with my liver? I had something on my liver that they needed to drain. Abscesses on my liver. That's it.
Abscess, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. They said had abscess on my liver. They need to drain it. It was the weekend, so it'll be a couple of days. So great.
Yeah.
Further scans. Then they're like, "Oh, you've got ulcers." I was like, "Oh, bearing in mind, like, I don't drink.
Yeah.
Yes, I've done steroids. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. Never have.
Mm-hmm.
And if I've drunk, it's a couple times a year. So
not like your typical. So normally, from my knowledge of all of this, is alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
That's what if you look at it textbook style, that's what causes all this stuff. But yours is not that.
No. And then I had further scans because they weren't quite sure. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Then it was non-fatty liver disease.
Right.
So this is all in like a couple of months is what they're speculating. I had another test. And then they came back with, you've got a tumour on your liver.
Wow. Fuck.
And it never really triggered me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck's sake.
Let's just get on with it.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Pretty much. And then they said the C word, and that broke me.
Yeah.
Absolutely broke me. And yeah, I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah. How old are you at this point?
29.
Okay.
Yeah, 29.
And this is what 2020.
Yeah. Funny enough, like 2 weeks before, I just qualified for Worlds in powerlifting.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So kind of at a high.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, we think you might have liver cancer.
Right. Which is fucking, like, not only for anyone to be told that, but for someone that's like physically active.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. None of it really like hit me until, like I said, they said like the C word, and then told them all about previous like drug use, everything like that. And the worst thing is they were like, oh no, it's probably the azithromycin.
Yeah.
That caused that. It's heavily liver toxic.
Ouch.
And you know, like I said, I've always been sensible with the drug use.
Mm-hmm.
I've always got my bloods checked, which shows liver enzymes, everything like that. And you know, like, this was the drug that was supposed to make me healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what their thoughts were, taking it. And just like, what do I do now?
Yeah. They
took me off all my drugs, the colitis drugs, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously stopped all steroids, not touched them since. And then it took 8 months to get me back on colitis medication.
So during that 8 months, have you had this? You've had this tumor removed, obviously.
Yeah, I had half my liver removed.
So you've got half a liver now.
Yeah.
That half obviously is a good half, which is great.
Yeah.
And they're not putting you on. Obviously, you must be on some sort of medication for that, or treatment, or
none.
No, they literally removed it, and
there was a lot of ambiguity with what the tumor was.
Okay.
They potentially think it would have gone into cancer.
Right.
The borders were quite. When you look at a tumor, the borders were quite solid. So they could just remove. I avoided all chemo or radio, anything like that, which is an absolute godsend.
Yes. Yeah. For anyone that's experienced or knows someone that can be more detrimental.
What I can't fault the NHS for, as soon as the C word came in, 2 weeks later, I was getting my liver, like half of it cut out.
Right.
If that hadn't have happened, then they speculate that would have grown, mutated into like cancerous cells.
Did they say to you that the problems you were having previously were liver related, or and it couldn't possibly not be colitis, or the ulcerative colitis?
That was the lucky flare up.
Right. Okay.
That flare up was the reason why I got scans on my stomach, liver.
Right.
So as horrible as that flare-up was,
Yep.
that was a godsend.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Crazy. So mate, I don't even know where to go from here. It's like you go straight back into training, don't you?
Yeah, I was in the gym a week after surgery.
Which is just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. From what I do for a job, I know movement is medicine.
Yeah.
And I was tentative of what I'd done. It was like body weight squats, light lateral raises, some biceps.
People
curls.
really underestimate that, don't they?
Yeah.
Like they really do. Like you can, if you're eating the right food, you can still grow. You don't have to fucking powerlift to fucking gain some muscle. You just need to eat.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Yeah. And you just, when you have an injury or a surgery, just move.
Yeah.
Like move. I put this up on my Instagram. Like you just need to move as much as you can in a pain-free manner to not cause any more aggravations. Because when you're recovering, you increase blood flow, you increase lymph flow, everything like that, and it will speed up the recovery. Rest is rust. Like you,
I like that.
yeah.
I've not heard that before.
You just get stiff. Like when
Yeah.
you're sitting in a chair for 8 hours, if you've got an office job, try and get up. Like,
Yeah.
imagine you're doing that after surgery where your body's trying to heal and you're stuck in this one position.
Yeah.
You're not going to heal well.
No.
Whereas if you go out for a couple of 10-minute walks.
Do you know what? I'm so glad you just said that, right? Because this is my 2 pence worth. I learnt this a few years ago, a guy called Sadhguru, yeah? And he's a yogi. So he's like, ethos is every time you eat, go for a 10-minute walk.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just sit down and eat, and then you sit down, yeah, it's going to digest, but it's making it hard work to digest.
Yeah.
But if you go for a walk, it's like you get your engine running.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. So I started doing it, and it was one of the best things I ever did.
Yes, Stan Effering, a high-level coach, he's always like, yeah, do a 10-minute walk after a meal. Like, increases insulin sensitivity, helps digestion,
Yeah.
helps mood, and it's a game changer.
Yeah.
And the same for any injury. Just go for a little walk.
Yeah.
Like,
Just get the blood flowing, no matter what that looks like. But like you said, as pain-free.
Yeah.
You're going to have some discomfort.
oh, yeah, but discomfort's discomfort. Like,
Yeah. Okay, right. So this for me is probably the best time to just jump in and talk about discomfort. You're sitting here. What is it? Not even 2 weeks,
not it's about 2.5, 3 weeks. Yeah.
and you just had hernias removed.
Yeah.
Or well, I say, do they remove them, or they just
No,
because they patch them? They push them back in and patch them.
Put a mesh over and
Yeah.
stitch you back up.
Okay, so you're sitting here, but what you said to me when you came in, I was like, "Are you back training?" You were like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Hernia people don't train. Like they don't. They just don't, because obviously the risk is fucking massive, right?
Yeah.
But the mesh is now. I get it. The mesh is now off far advanced. Like so, 10 years ago it wasn't like it was now, but it's still. What are you doing? Like what are you trained? Like so, when you say you're back training, what is it you're doing?
So
I can't wait to hear this, because I can imagine it ain't body weight stuff, is it?
So the reason the hernias came about because there's scars from the liver surgery tore open on a ski erg machine.
Okay.
Of all the crap that I do, it tore open.
And you do lift heavy. I've seen you. You do lift ridiculous. So to do it on a ski erg, which is always, for some reason, whenever I talk to anyone that's just out of an injury, it's never when they're doing the heavy shit, which is really strange.
So I got them repaired, and then I've been doing my rehab, been doing my exercises, and yesterday I went back to playing ice hockey.
Okay, and when you say play ice hockey, you literally take part in ice hockey.
Yeah, there was ice hockey training, and then we played a friendly scrim at the end.
Yep, and skating for ice skating, for anyone that knows, ice skating when you just go with your partner or your kids or whatever, it's fucking hard work. Your hips are hurting, your groins are hurting, and you're doing it with stitched up hernias from 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
It's impressive. I told you, I warned you on because it's so inspiring. All right, so what motivates you? Like, what motivates you? What keeps you going? Like, how? Because it's like one thing after another. So how do you, like mentally, how do you cope with that? And then what do you put, like what's kind of strategic things do you have in place that keep you moving forward? Because a lot of people don't move forward. They get sick. And I'm not saying just colitis, because I don't want to underplay it. It's a serious condition. So you feel weak, you're tired, a very similar situation. Our diets are everything. I know you can't eat a lot of stuff, the same as I can't. So, people don't understand that's really hard to manage. I don't think people can ever really truly understand the severity of any types of conditions until they get one. So if they're living a day-to-day life and they're like, okay, yeah, great, and then they can go and have a pizza and a beer or a Coke, even a Diet Coke or some shit, like, and they're, I'm trying to be healthy because it's diet.
And they're just a bit bloated after that.
And they're just a bit bloated. Yeah, exactly that. The best way to describe, let's just, before we even go in, like, with the liver, because that's another level, but food-wise and trying to still go to the gym, and first of all, you have to battle life, yeah? So there's that process. Then there's having the motivation, the energy and everything else. And that requires, it isn't just medication. It is motivation, mindset. So how the fuck do you get yours? Because I'll tell you how I do mine, but I want to hear how you keep going.
So with the previous illnesses, like in my mind, it's only a couple. I'm still young. And yeah, I'm still young now. But that was fine. The liver one nearly broke me. I had a lot of other personal issues in that time as well. A lot of financial issues. I was in a bad place, like dark. And she was my friend at the time, now girlfriend. She definitely helped me get through that one. And close friends as well. Really couldn't have done it without them. Even from like some of the personal things I was going through, not just like the recovering from the liver, but I bought a house, had some issues with that nearly financially crippled me. I just started up the sports therapy business as well, so I wasn't as busy as I am now. So I had
like any business, yeah,
self-employed, no income.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain it. Even if I'm in a dark place, I still show up.
Yeah.
You have to show up, even if you've only got 10% to give, just fucking show up. Like, there's people out there that are worse than you, that have been given shitter hands than you. There's people that can't leave the house. There's people that can't get out of bed. I can get out of bed. All right. Now what do? Cool. Have some food. Cool. I actually no, sorry, I gotta go off. The number one thing that makes me get the fuck out of bed and turn up is my dog.
Is your dog?
It's my dog. No, I can't underplay him at all.
Right.
It's like, I know people like our dogs and that, like, they're your kids.
Yeah.
My dog depends on me.
Right.
I have to walk him.
Yeah.
I have to feed him.
Yeah.
I have to house him. I have to pay his bills. Like,
yeah.
I've chosen to take that responsibility on for a being that can't fend for itself.
Yeah.
And he's 7. I've had him for 7 years. He's been through every piece of shit that I've been through.
Yeah.
He's there.
He's with you.
And
he's always happy to see you, right?
Yeah. And that's probably, it sounds weird.
No, it doesn't. I get it. I understand it. And I think so many more people will as well.
Like, I have to show up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he doesn't eat. I can give a fuck if I don't eat.
Yeah.
That's my problem. But I chose to take him on.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same with people's children. Like, you've chosen to have a child. Like, you can't just you can't let the child go without.
No.
And that's how I view my dog.
Yeah.
And he's been through everything with me.
So I think that's that's your personal. That's what gets you out of bed. That's what got you through those difficult times as well. I know Kate's been a massive part lately, like recently, but if you apply that in general, it is just that, like, you need focus on something else that makes you show up. like you said, get out of bed, get that almost like a purpose. So if you have a purpose that will help people, and because I want people to learn from, the whole point I do this is so people understand and learn from stuff and from other people's stories, because you're 100%, and I don't want to speak for you, but you can either say no, I don't, or yeah, I do, but I can guarantee it ain't that simple. I really do. I can, just from my own personal experience, you will have days, and most likely still do, even though your business is thriving, your health, obviously apart from the hernia thing, but in general, like considering the amount of health issues, like big health issues, not small, big, and you still showed up, that takes strength, a certain type of motivation, mindset, all these other things, and ultimately your purpose was you focused on the dog. So people need to understand that you still, it's okay to have dark days, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah, massively.
Like that's, I think for men especially, like we got to be tough. We have to be like, from a social point of view, or from how you're raised, or what is expected to sit. Like so with my partner now, if I'm having a bad day, she's the first one to know, because she'll point it out, and it ain't even because of my mood. It'll be because I'm gaunt in the face, or I'm grey, the colour's gone. So she'll know straight away, which is great. When you got someone that's supportive like that, it's fucking perfect. But then you can be like, I need a day on the sofa. 9 times out of 10, I don't know if this is the same for you, but an hour on the sofa, I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
But it's okay to sit in a dark place for an hour and know that dark place is going to pass.
Oh, completely.
Do you have those? You have that? You agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, a supportive partner, they recognise it before you do.
Yes.
They're the, like you said, first one to point it out. They know that you need to take a break, to have some alone time, to go for a walk, or just have an evening to yourself. They're the first ones to know it, and that is like the true bit of having a good partner.
Yeah.
And like you said, it is okay to have bad days. You need to recognize them as well, and like they pass. And think how many good days you've had compared to bad days as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay to have an off day if you're going to have 6 good ones. If you have a condition.
Yeah.
So food wise, talk me through diet. I've seen you do some fucked up shit on social media. I ain't gonna lie, and I think, how the fuck, like with your liver, like digestion must be tough. Like your colitis, digestion is tough, and but again, I can only when I watch certain things you do, and I'm like, fucking hell, like only because I can't do that. I know my body, and I know I can't do that, but you are able to, which is like again fascinating. So, how the fuck do you do that with what's going on internally?
Do you mean how do I eat so much?
Yes, mate. I'm down to like, don't get me wrong, I'm content. I'm very happy. I'm like 14 stone 2. I'm lean. I'm 44. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I'm very happy with that. But I don't want to eat 6 meals a day or 8 meals a day. I have no interest in that. But what I needed to do was, I didn't want to get out of shape, but I also wanted to tailor my food so I didn't, with my condition, I'm bloated all the time. I can have one thing out of place and it will fuck me for 3 days. Like, I don't. So what I did was I really started to research, and I changed my diet so much that even little and often that I only have 4 meals a day now, but I started to gain more weight having little and often just 4 times a day than what I was doing when I was having 6 bigger meals a day, because my body just weren't taking it.
Yeah.
So I did some other stuff, but from your side of things, what does it look like now? Because you can fucking eat, and I don't get that.
So I eat basically the same stuff every single day.
Yeah.
Because I know it works.
Yes.
Like, it works.
Exactly the same.
It works for my digestion. It works for my energy levels, and it keeps weight on.
And what is it? What do you explain your diet, please?
So on average, it is 200 grams of cream of rice. That's before you add a litre of water to it. 400 grams of berries, 50 grams of protein, and it comes out to over 1 kilo in weight.
Wow.
It's over 1,000 calories for breakfast.
Okay. Next.
Next is half a kilo of chicken or beef with usually
Half a kilo?
Yeah.
It's like 500 grams.
Yeah.
Right, yep.
With usually 2 packs of rice, like microwave, or 200 grams uncooked weight of like sushi rice.
Okay.
With that.
Yep.
Then it's usually it's sourdough bread or sourdough bagels, whatever's I've decided I want that day. With 400 grams of cooked chicken slices.
Right.
Yeah. And then.
So close to half a kilo again.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll add some, like, if I'm feeling like, if I want it, the fake low fat cheese slices.
Okay.
So I don't really have that much gluten.
Mm-hmm.
If I do it's through sourdough, but that's better for the gut. And so it doesn't mess me up.
Yeah.
I usually have them sandwiches in between clients because I'm busy. And then I finish the day either with 9 eggs and 9 crumpets, or 9 crumpets with 150 grams of almond butter and 70 grams of honey.
And that doesn't mess your stomach? Obviously not, because you're doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck. That is, how many calories is that a day? I know you know this.
Close to 8,000.
So, okay, so 8,000. So, okay, so I'm going to throw my little theory into this, yeah? Because how I live totally different to that. Like, I would love to consume that, but even if I could, I don't think I'd want to. And so I want this to kind of a little bit be controversial, because I'd like to hear your side. So the way I look at it as, mine's very, very simple. Like I don't have that amount for a start, definitely not. And the theory for the way I live is, I would look at that, and maybe the viewers will look at this and be like, I would be sluggish. I would be fucking tired. I don't need to eat that much because you must be shitting 2-3 times a day. I don't know for sure. But, so where I've done a lot of reading in yoga, like the science of yoga, not the fucking bending, because obviously I'm just not flexible. I can't do it. But with the food side of things, it's a very spiritual thing. So what I tried to do is implement that spiritual side of it. So I wanted to put only enough in the engine, in the tank, that my body can cope with, but also enough that it keeps me in shape and grows a little bit at a time. So I'm almost, obviously, totally different to how I was when you met me, when I was 20, when I was like, fuck it, I've got to eat everything and I have to take steroids because I'm impatient. Now I'm like the total opposite. Now I'm like, actually, I just want consistency, and I want to be able to show up. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to be on here or be working and be like mentally focused. So one of the biggest things I learned was if you overeat, it can obviously slow down your process, metabolism, etc. And brain fog is really common with lots of food. So I basically, just like I said to you earlier, little and often, I would never eat any more. I aim for 40 grams of protein. Basically, to keep it simple, I aim for 40 grams of protein every meal. And that's 4 times, because I don't need more than 160 grams to grow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I just want to gain a little bit of consistency, if I start putting 200 grams, 250, 300, whatever that looks like, whatever yours looks like, I'm going to spend a lot more time on the toilet, which I don't want to do. And I don't think my body can cope with it. So what would your, not argument, because it isn't an argument, but what would your take be on that? Like, how do you understand? Oh, sorry. One of the biggest things for me is water intake. So one of the things I noticed I picked up on, you said that, what was it? How many litres in?
It was a litre of water mixed in with my cream of rice.
Yeah. So one of the things I learned with my condition was not to wash out the bacteria. If you have anything over 200 ml, it flushes it out, so you have no good or bad bacteria. Now, I just want to make it very clear. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know. I just studied this shit, and these are the bits that I took away and I implement it. So every meal I have, I don't drink more than 200 ml of fluids. But in between meals, I'm not going to So I am launching my own drink. I'm just going, oh, fuck it. I might as well say that. Clean fuel. I am launching clean fuel. It's the bollocks. And the reason why I invented it, or not invented it, but I'm having it made, is because it is fucking the best thing for my muscles, for everything. And when you're on minimal fuel, you can really when you start to tailor stuff. So my point is this: every couple of hours, I'm going through about 250 ml of just. I don't whack in 1,000. Would that be something you'd be willing to try and see if if you understand what I'm saying, or is that something you'd be like, no, it doesn't make sense to me?
I'd go give it a try. I'd have to change my breakfast, which ruins my day.
That's on that.
Yeah, I'd be willing to try it. I'm not against anything, like, as long as I hit like my required amount for my hydration levels.
Yeah.
So like, it's not an argument. It's just like why I eat like that for myself. Like, we all have our own reasons why we eat like it.
100%.
For people like me and you, we want to feel the best and perform the best.
Yeah.
If I eat less than that, I lose body weight.
Wow. So you really do lose body weight?
Yeah.
If you eat less than 8,000 calories a day?
Yeah.
Mate, don't eat what I eat. You'll be about 7 stone.
I will lose body weight if I eat like less than that. Was maintaining. I've lost weight since surgery, but I was maintaining my body weight at 105 to 107 kilos.
Wow.
And so it is actually a very similar reason that you eat the way you eat. I want to try and maintain my body weight.
Yep.
I need enough fuel to fuel my performance in the gym. And obviously my job is very active.
Yeah.
So I walk my dog for 2 hours a day. So morning, evening.
Wow.
Train, then work.
Yeah.
And then walk my dog again.
And everything, so people understand, everything you do is physical. Like your job is physical. Like you said, home is physical. The dog, and then you go to the gym. And your workouts, fuck, they're insane. Like I can actually personally vouch for this. His fucking workouts are insane. So it doesn't surprise me you need to eat a lot more than me. I don't put any. No, all right. I put very little effort into my training these days. I just don't want to hurt. I'm okay with. I just want to look okay at 40. No, I want to look better than average at 44. Yeah. That's that. I'm content with that.
Which you do.
I appreciate it, mate. Thank you. But what advice would you give to anyone watching this now if they're going through some trauma, whether it's home life, which you experienced early on, or maybe a collective, maybe the collective of home life, you're ill, it could be, or you're upright. I know you already said just keep moving, and I get that, but overall, like so far, what you've experienced, what would you say is the best advice?
Find someone that listens. Just
like a life coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Like genuinely.
Yeah.
Just find someone that listens and sometimes doesn't have to say anything. Like, there's always this, like, I think I call it like negative positivity.
Right.
Where it's like, oh yeah, it's okay, but like, oh, it's fine to feel like that. Like, I'll be okay. Oh, that's the fucking worst. It'll be okay.
Because that person isn't or hasn't experienced that.
And it's not, and yes, people have worse lives, people have better lives. Like, what you're feeling is valid.
Yeah.
Don't ever let anyone tell you it's not. And just get someone that listens, just that allows you to vent, doesn't judge you. And that's sometimes all you need.
Yeah.
Like, biggest piece of advice, find someone that just listens to you, lets you be you. And then when you're ready, like, just then ask for their advice. Like, right, what do I do? What's the next step? Or this is my next step.
Yeah.
And then they can help you roadmap out of that situation. I think that's what's helped me.
Yeah.
I had people doing this, I'll be okay, or so-and-so has it worse. You know, like,
comparisons don't work.
Yeah.
Comparisons don't work.
I don't give a fuck about them.
Yeah,
like, focusing on me. I want to get out of the situation that I'm in.
Yeah.
This doesn't help. Whereas once you've let it out, it's out.
Yeah.
You can calm down. You can then compartmentalize parts that you want to change, and then you can move forward.
Yeah.
That's what I've personally found is been the best. Once I got it all out, What's the next step?
Yeah.
Cool. Then after that, and then these little steps start building up, and then before you know it, you're like, oh, did that happen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you passed it. And so goal setting, would you say goal setting, or is it just showing up every day, take one day at a time, or combination?
Combination, because if you haven't got a goal, what's the point in turning up?
Yeah.
Like,
glad you said that, because I could have fucked that line up massively. That line of questioning could have gone.
Yeah, like you need a plan in place, because if you're showing up,
But it doesn't have to be massive.
no,
Just anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, all right, 3 job applications a day, like 5 minutes on the computer.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
It's best to set it small,
Yeah.
and then if you end up doing more, pat on the back, well done. Like,
Yes, always start small, and like you'll feel that sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like, and if you fail, it's not a massive failure either. So you
No.
don't go, oh, I shot for the stars and I dropped. It's like, I sent 3 mails. Oh, no one replied. All right, next day, what's another 3 emails?
yeah.
Whereas if you're like, I've done 100 and all 100, you're like, oh shit, no one wants me. But small steps
Yeah, of course. Consistency.
and building that momentum. Yeah.
Consistent. I don't know if you'd agree, but for me, consistency is everything. Just a little bit every day. Like your milk, not so much like yours, my meals. Consistency. It's little and consistent. So that approach and showing up and obviously for people that don't have the support, there is loads of support out there.
Oh, huge.
Like loads. It doesn't have to be a family member. It doesn't have to be your girlfriend. It doesn't. And sometimes they're not the right people to go to. So it could be professionals, or there's the charities and all sorts.
It could be the fucking barista at your coffee shop. Like, you
100%.
don't,
Doesn't have to be a particular anyone.
no, just someone you feel comfortable with. And sometimes someone that you don't know is the most comfortable person.
Yeah.
Like you said, it could be a charity, could be a life coach, someone that almost is removed from your life situation.
Yeah.
There's no judgment.
Yeah.
And you can just tell them everything.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I agree. Sometimes the best people are the people that are removed from your situation and your life.
Yeah, me too. Nathan, thank you so much for coming on. I knew that was going to be really good. And obviously I wish you best with the recovery, speedy recovery, which, to be honest with you, I don't know why I said that, because that's guaranteed.
Couple more days
You'll be back. Well, I don't know, deadlifting something stupid. For anyone that's going through any mental health challenges, or feel free to drop us a line in, and we'll give you some organisations to go to. Subscribe. I hope you like the show, and see you again next time. Thank you, Nathan. Thanks.
Pleasure.
Super fun.